Hi. It's July 22nd and I'm out on the front porch doing some knitting, which you can't really see. Let's see if I can show that to you. It's a sunny day here. I hope you can't hear Larky drinking, but you probably can. That's what I'm working on. It's the mermaid top. I've restarted it. I ran out of yarn using Cappy's yarn, and yeah, I had to pull that out. It's not working, so I've restarted it with some other stash yarn that I hope is going to work. Let me lower you down so you can see me knitting a little bit. Nope, Larky, no. So how often do you guys have to restart something? Do you just figure it's part of the process? Do you get frustrated, or do you just take it in stride? I always get a little frustrated. And I have to say, this is how I normally look during the day. Yeah, you know, I have combed my hair this morning. I put on some kind of clothes. Yeah, I have clothes on. Well, not pajamas, not pajamas. Drinking some iced coffee because I think it's supposed to get up to like 65, I wish. 85 today. So it's going to feel warm today. It's going to feel really hot. 85, 90, that feels really hot to us around here. Absolutely. So it's probably going to be a little painful today. But I thought I would sit out here for just a little bit and do some knitting. My son-in-law, has taken my two grandsons to Whitefish Lake today. So he has already sent back pictures, and I'll insert them here. They're out having fun. It's great. It's a beautiful beach down there at Whitefish. There aren't any real nice sandy beaches around our area. And welcome to Victoria Knits. I'm Victoria. I thought I'd get started on my next podcast already. Why not, right? Oh, so yeah. So the grandsons are gone for, quite a bit of the day. And so I can sit and do whatever I need to do. Sit and knit. Yeah. Kind of nice. So yeah, I'm restarting that mermaid top by Rebecca McKenzie. I don't know. I'm just thinking to myself, I hope it fits, and of course I do. But at the same time, knitting is kind of relaxing, isn't it? Yeah, I really like having something to do with my hands. And this yarn's pretty soft. I'll put at the bottom what the yarn is. I'm holding it 3-stranded to try to make up DK weight. We'll see if this works. I know I won't have enough to do all of this the same color for this top, that I have quite a bit of this yarn. So what I figure I can do is, as I finish off one ball of yarn, I'll just start another. Lots of people have done that. I think it's called marled or something, marled effect. Yeah, I figure, let's see what this looks like. If I don't like it, I'll do something else. But hopefully it'll work out okay. So Janet and I are planning on a hike tomorrow. We are going to Glacier National Park together tomorrow. So you will soon see another hike on this podcast, which, I hope you guys are not tired of yet. Seem to get some pretty good feedback on the hiking. But we have a hike planned for tomorrow. What that means is I have to get up really early. Because we're gonna meet, and then we're gonna drive to what's called Logan Pass. For those of you who have not been to Glacier National Park, there's a place called Logan Pass, and there is a visitor center at Logan Pass where you can stop and look around. There's restrooms. There's probably some snacks you can buy there, you know, like vendor type snacks. There's a big fairly large parking area. The thing about Logan Pass is it's very popular because there are at least 2 hikes that start from Logan Pass. There's the Hidden Lake Overlook, which is a short hike. I think it might be 2-3 miles, probably a 3-mile hike, round trip. So yes, it is a fairly short hike, and it's very popular with a lot of visitors driving through Glacier National Park. And Logan Pass sits on the Continental Divide. It's right there. So it's kind of at the, you know, at the top of Glacier National Park. You're driving through and you kind of continue to climb up to Logan Pass, and then when you finish with Logan Pass and you drive the other side, you're going down again. So Logan Pass, so I'm trying to say, is a very popular destination. The parking lot fills up really, really early in the morning because it's so popular, and there are 2 hikes from there. The other hike from there is the Highline Trail hike, which I have not been on yet. My daughter and son-in-law did some of that hike last year, and I would like to do it, but I haven't done that one yet. It's a really popular hike too. So there'll be a lot of people in Glacier tomorrow. And so we need to be there early so we can get a parking place and get going on our hike. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I've done the Overlook hike quite a bit. We're going to try to go down to the lake. Most people do not go clear to what they call Hidden Lake. They just go to the Overlook and then look at it and then turn around and go back. But there's another trail also which takes off of the Hidden Lake Trail. So we're going to try to do both of them tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. I'm really looking forward to it. Janet and I only do about 1 hike a week together. You know, I've got the boys. Sometimes I'll be watching them a day or 2. And then, you know, there's just a lot of driving involved. So 1 decent hike a week seems okay. Seems like that works out real well for us. So tomorrow will be our 1 hike for this week. See you then. It's 5:30. I've been driving for almost half an hour. I'm on my way to meet Janet. Stopped at a traffic light, so I thought I'd say hi. Obviously, from listening to my last segment, my little new adjuster is not working for my microphone, so I apologize for that. Obviously, it doesn't help when you try to go the less expensive route. Anyway, yeah, on my way to meet Janet. The sun isn't up yet, but it's threatening. I was hoping for a pretty sunrise, but I don't see one yet. So, see you in a little bit. As I said, it's a really, really popular hike. A lot of people on it today.
It's at the pool.
chipmunk.
Oh.
He is, isn't he? So on the far right, that very green area to the right is the overlook where we were before. Really lovely view of the lake from up here. You look down there and see if you can see those bad bears. Those bad boy bears.
Yeah.
Where the hell are they? So at this point, we're about halfway up the Dragon's Tail, and I was not up to the rest of the hike, which would have been across that horizontal hill right in the center there. It looked like it was too much for me on that day. And then we notice a mountain goat above us, which I very cleverly point out. And then the mountain goat decides to get up, and he poses very nicely for us. And then he starts walking towards us. Here he makes sure that we see his good side. He's a handsome fellow, isn't he? And then he decides to leave us.
That'd be a billy goat.
Yeah.
Is he looking at that marmot?
He is.
It's like a Mexican standoff.
That's funny.
Hey, I want to get up there.
Huh.
Standing in my spot.
We watched him walk back down the trail we had come up, and he stood there for a while, and then he started licking the rock. He was probably finding some salt on that. Mountain goats really love to lick salt.
Passed by a mountain goat. How embarrassing. He sees other people coming up the trail.
Oh, does he? That's funny. Janet and I decided to stop for lunch. We chose a really pretty spot. And we also decided to do some knitting while we were there. That was Janet's idea, and I thought it was great. I brought this sweater I'm working on. Again.
Oh, pretty.
Well, I started it once and ran out of yarn. So I ditched that yarn, and I'm using, I wanted to use some leftover yarn I had. You know, some stash.
Mm-hmm.
So I started over with this stuff. But I'm having to triple. So now...
To get gauge?
Gauge?
Never mind.
You're hilarious. Holy hell. What's gauge? To try to get... Well, doesn't... Okay, so... You know, there you go. Isn't that DK? Doesn't that look like DK?
Yeah, sure. Sure it does.
Well, these are extra fine. They're finer than fingering. I bought them on accident because I thought they were fingering.
Oh,
they're not
dear.
fingering. Yeah, I'm an idiot.
Balls of this yarn. I don't like it. It splits.
Oh.
It's a little splitty.
It's pretty. That's pretty.
I can call this knitting at altitude.
Yeah, no kidding. High altitude knitting. Yeah, I think this is turning out pretty good. I'll show my viewers.
Oh, are you recording?
Oh yeah, we're recording. We've been recording for quite a while.
All right, I'm going to stop picking my nose then.
What are you working on, Janet? Janet's working on a pair of socks.
Socks.
For you?
Yes.
Any pattern?
No pattern. No rhyme or reason.
This is the new water bottle my niece bought me. Thank you, Eva. Working well. Just turn you guys around and show you what we're looking at. Not a bad view to be knitting in front of, huh? So we're knitting away, and unbeknownst to us, we're getting photobombed by some mountain goats in the background.
see those guns.
Trail is that way.
Yeah, that's why they're hesitating, I guess. Why they're still standing there. So I didn't know it, but mountain goats are not really goats, but they are close relatives. They are more properly known as goat antelopes. Their lifespan is about 9 to 12 years in the wild. They stand about 3.5 feet at the shoulder. They weigh from 100 to 300 pounds. Both the male and female mountain goats have beards, short tails, and long black horns. They're protected from the elements by their woolly white double coats. That fine, dense wool of their undercoats is covered by an outer layer of longer, hollow hairs, and they molt in the spring by rubbing against rocks and trees, with the adult billies shedding their extra wool first and the pregnant nannies shedding last. Their coats help them to withstand winter temperatures as low as minus 51 degrees Fahrenheit and winds of up to 99 miles per hour. And their feet are well suited for climbing steep, rocky slopes with pitches exceeding 60 degrees. They have inner pads that provide traction and hooves that can spread apart. Those mountain goats were everywhere that day. It was fantastic. Everybody enjoyed seeing them, that's for sure. Yep, this is the one with the babies.
Yeah.
And yes, it's a very popular hike. There were a lot of people on it, but you can really see why. The views are just beautiful. The parking lot was quite full when we were finished with our hike. Janet's doing all the driving. Super nice of her. And I think we had a well-deserved drink afterwards at one of our favorite places to stop. We also had another look at the mountain goat hair that Janet had collected that day. Hi. Kim and I hiked up to Baree Lake. This is a new lake for us. We've never been here before. It's supposed to be just over a 3-mile hike, but it took us just under 4 miles to, according to my pacer. So who knows? That could be wrong. It's been a good hike. It's been a little strenuous, but you know, it's a good workout for us. And Larky came along. We are in the Cabinet Mountain Wilderness, and so you can have dogs here. In that last hike I showed you with Janet when we went to Logan Pass and to the Dragon's Tail Trail, I wanted to say a little bit about Logan Pass. It is on the Continental Divide. The elevation is 6,600 feet. It is the highest point on the Going to the Sun Road in Glacier National Park that you can drive to. And Logan, although there are higher areas in the park and in the state, Logan Pass gets more precipitation than any place in Montana. Mountains along the divide force moist air from the Pacific upward, causing cooling by expansion. And Arctic air often moves into Montana along the east side of the divide, contributing to the lifting and cooling of Pacific air from the west. An area just east of Logan Pass, called the Big Drift, often records over 80 feet of snow, much of it pushed there by strong westerly winds that blow during the winter. A record gust of wind 139 miles per hour was recorded in April of 2014. And the pass is named after Major William R. Logan, who was the first superintendent of the park, and I'll insert a picture in here of him. I also wanted to say that Janet and I took that hike to Dragon's Tail, and as I said, I didn't feel like completing it. We were about halfway up Dragon's Tail, and I saw where the trail was going, and it just seemed too much for me that day. And that was on Thursday. The Tuesday before, we didn't know this before we went up, but when we got home, Janet sent me the article. We found out that on the Tuesday before, a couple of young men had been hiking Dragon's Tail, and one of them, Joshua Yarrow, who is 20 years old, from Wichita, Kansas, he was working in Glacier for the summer, lost his backpack over the side and decided to go after it and fell and died. You know, I don't want people to take Glacier lightly because any hiking trail should not be taken lightly, but especially in Glacier. Some of those trails obviously are very steep and they can be dangerous. There's also not much cell service in the park. So whoever he was with wouldn't have been able to call 911. That person, and I feel really badly for him, also would have had to hike back down, all the way back down to Logan Pass to get help for his friend. And that had to have been a very difficult decision. I think it's the only one you could have made. Anyway, you know, as I said, I don't know Josh, but deaths do happen everywhere, obviously. But I think it's a good reminder to respect that you're outside in the wild and take precautions. So anyway, we're out here. I am working on. I brought up one project with me. I'm doing the Floribunda socks. They are by Yarnia Designs. I'm doing it with Comfort and Joy yarn by Hannah Made It. I think this pattern is going to turn out really, really pretty. It's got some cabling in it. And I added just this odd red I had for the heels and toes. These are going to go into my Christmas box of socks. And I thought I would maybe sit up here and work on them for a little bit. But frankly, I think Kim and I are going to, we ate our lunch and I think we're going to want to get back down the trail. And maybe pick some huckleberries on the way home. We saw quite a few huckleberries, so I'm kind of excited about that. We might just use a couple of empty water containers and do that. So I think that's what's going to happen. So the trailhead was about 54 miles from our house. Took us about an hour and a half to get to it. Larky did really well on the trail. He didn't get too far ahead of us. And here are some of those huckleberries we stopped and picked on the way home. plenty of places for Larky to stop and get a good drink of water. So that was great. I used one of my new Life straw bottles from my niece Eva. Thank you, Eva. Worked great. We had some ice cold spring water to drink. We reached the lake. Yeah, it wasn't as gorgeous as I was hoping. A little underwhelmed, but it was okay. Then we had some lunch. I did my little bit of podcasting near the lake. We picked huckleberries on the way back. And we saw one cow elk as we were driving away from the trailhead. And here's what I made with those huckleberries. The recipe is called Strawberry Semifreddo, and I will link to it below. Just know that you don't have to buy the mascarpone. I just substitute cream cheese for that, and it works out great. So it's like a ice cream that you don't have to have an ice cream freezer for. It's really delicious. And guess what? Janet and I did another hike in this episode. We did this one in Glacier National Park. This shows you an outline of Glacier National Park. This shows where we went last time to the Logan Pass overlook. This is the route we took this time, the purple line at the bottom. This red circle shows the closures for Glacier National Park. Normally, those three circles show areas where you can get into the park. You cannot enter in those areas right now due to COVID-19. They are on an Indian reservation, and they are not taking any chances with getting high infection rates there. So those areas are closed to get into the park right now. This is the Continental Divide, just before the trailhead to Firebrand Pass. We chose this hike because we figured there wouldn't be a lot of people on it. Everyone is kind of congregated in the park right now since so little of it is actually opened. So Firebrand Pass was our choice. It received its name from the devastating forest fires that hit this region in 1910. Wildfires torched more than 3 million acres of virgin forest in Washington, Idaho, and Montana, and in the process destroyed enough timber to fill a freight train 2,400 miles long.
In the same year that Glacier would become a national park, more than 100,000 acres would burn within the park boundaries. It was literally a baptism by fire for the newest national park that summer. And this hike is well known for its wildflower viewing, and they weren't kidding. It was just gorgeous that day. There were beautiful wildflowers even in the rocky, high alpine areas. They were smaller, they clinging to those rocks, but they were still just as beautiful. You just had to get down a little bit more to see them.
And a big old snowdrift.
And then here we are just about to the summit. I'm going to leave the heavy breathing in because I don't want you to think that this hike was easy.
I think that's a goat trail. I think this is it. Not me either.
Here we be.
Yes.
Holy cow.
And you can see that this 10-mile Firebrand Pass hike was definitely worth the hours. Beautiful. Janet helps me show off my latest sock project. You can't hear me talk about it because it was a little too windy up there. But I just wanted to show it, and I'll talk more about that later on in the podcast. Time to head back. Got to cross all that scree rock again. We saw just 6 people on this hike. 2 of them were coming down as we were going up. They had spent the night camped out at Ole Lake up there. We had to cross the railroad tracks to get to the trailhead. You park on the other side. And when we got back, there was a train in the way. We had to wait quite a while for that train to get out of the way, but it eventually did. It was a great hike. Very pretty.
Got the tie-dye shirt.
You got your tie-dye shirt? Yes, you do.
Yeah.
That looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you sit up like that, they can see.
You gotta smell one of them.
Do they smell good?
Yeah. They have a really nice smell.
Oh, yeah, they do smell pretty good, don't they?
Yeah. They smell like orange.
All right, Russell is here to help me with my
Say
podcast.
hi, guys.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Where are we at, Russell?
Our new house.
Your new house. Russell and his mom and dad and his little brother have moved to a new house.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What town is it in?
Kalispell.
That's right. It's in Kalispell, isn't it?
That means we're one of the tiny houses.
Yeah. One of the tiny houses you can see from the overlook, up at Lone Pine Park.
Yep.
That's right. And I wanted to show something I have finished recently.
Can I show it?
Yes, you can.
Who's that? So cute. He's sitting with me.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
You're going to have to hold him up so that everybody else can see him. This is Waffles the puppy.
Hi, Waffles.
He is all done. He has a sweater on with a hood, and I put a little tassel on it. What do you think?
Hi, Waffles. You sit with me.
Okay, he can sit with you. I like Waffles. I ran out of this pink yarn, used a whole skein of that, and so I had the same size yarn. I think one of my craft group, the women I go to craft group with in Marion gave me those 2 skeins.
I'm hugging him.
You like Waffles the puppy? He turned out all right. Can I show them? I used, let's see, I ran out of this main yarn, and so I used something different for,
Main yarn
yeah.
and little buttons.
Got little buttons on there.
And And brown.
Yeah.
Brown. Oh, black.
Black, he's got eyes now. And a mouth and a nose. What do you think?
And a nose.
Uh-huh.
It's a smiley face.
So I ran out of the main color yarn and I ended up using a brown, different brown for one of his front paws, but I didn't really care. You know, I was trying to use up stash. I had to go buy 2 skeins anyway for him. So whatever, right?
Can I hug him?
Yep.
He's a big
You
dog.
like him, don't you?
I take care of him.
Okay, I want to show them. Let me see. So I'm not thrilled with his head, and I'm not sure if that's because if it turned out kind of odd looking because I used the wrong size yarn and needle. I don't know. Anyway, do you like him?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
I'll take it.
That's Waffles the puppy.
I'll take care of Waffle the pup.
I think on these Susan B. Anderson patterns, you know what I think really makes them is the clothes.
He's gonna sit with me.
All right. You want his coat back on or off?
Ah.
Okay.
I'm gonna take good care of it.
Okay.
Can I please keep him?
Yes, you can. He can be yours.
Okay. He has a nice face.
He does have a nice face. All right. I
Stay right there, Waffles. I'll call you Waffles. Hi.
I won a skein of yarn from the Woolen Women podcast. That's a mother and her twin daughters that do that podcast, and I suggest you go and check it out. But the skein of yarn I won was this one. What do you think?
Good.
Is that pretty?
Yeah.
Bright sunshine there. It's really pretty. It's called Unicorn Poop. It's lace.
Unicorn poop.
It's lace fingering. Kid mohair and silk. 50 grams. Yeah, silk.
What the?
I know, isn't that beautiful? What do you think? I'm not sure what I'm going to make with that, but thank you very much. I thought it was gorgeous.
What else are we gonna show?
This one was dyed by Andrea on the Woolen Women podcast. Okay, I also bought some yarn. You just hit the camera. What's the matter? Did you see a bee or something?
It's a honeybee.
Okay, good.
Honeybees are really helpful, and they gave us some. And guess what? We got a whole jar of honey now, and I like it.
That's great. Honey is really good, isn't
honey
it?
is really good for you.
It sure is.
Healthy.
Yeah. So, Janet and I were thinking about going to the Eureka Fiber Fest together, which is about an hour's drive from here, but they canceled it because of COVID. So, I went ahead and spent some money. Teal Torch Knits from Portland, yeah, that is a honeybee, was having a sale, and I bought,
There's a bunch of honeybees.
there are 4 skeins of yarn from her. Here's the first one. This is called Different Style. What do you think of that?
Style.
You like it?
Yes.
I think that's really pretty. Different Style. These were all on sale, and I needed to treat myself since I didn't get to that Eureka Fiber Fest. I also bought this one. It's called Not So Pretty in Gray. Yeah?
It looks stylish.
It looks stylish. It looks like something I'll want to knit with. What do you think?
Good.
You like it?
Yeah. I'll take care of Waffles.
Okay, you take care of Waffles.
I'll take good care of Waffles.
This one is Hot and Too Much Fun. Oh, getting washed out, but you get the idea. Bright, bright, bright pink. Bright, beautiful pink. with some black and purple speckles. And then the last one I got is this one, and it's called...
Red.
Yeah, it is red. It's called Betty.
Betty?
I'm not sure why that's called Betty.
And there's some pink in it.
There is some pink in it. There's some pink and some red. Woo! You okay? That's really pretty.
I still got the cough.
You still got a
sneeze.
cough and a sneeze?
Achoo.
I think you've got some allergies, buddy. So that's what I purchased to make myself feel better about not going to the Eureka Fiber Fest with Janet. But I am over here, and I've been coming over once or twice a week to take care of the boys while Chris has to work. It's nice because Kalispell is just 20 miles from us. So even though they have moved out and we are all adjusting to our new life, they're not far away. So it's really worked out well. And Russell, you really like your new house, don't you? Yeah, you do.
You still got the allergies.
Yeah, you still have some allergies though, huh? So I'm not going to include any more hikes in this podcast, but I am going to show a walk that Russell and Nico and I took last week around their neighborhood.
It's
Huckleberry Mountain. Can you say goodbye?
goodbye. Hey, look at that little honeybee.
That is a little honeybee, isn't it? Hi, little honeybee. Go make some money.
And bring some to us.
As I said, I've been helping taking care of the boys when Chris has to work. And we've been going out for some walks around their neighborhood. And, you know, I really thought that Russell and Nico were going to miss being out here. And they do a little bit. But I thought, oh, they won't be able to count deer in the backyard in the mornings and whatnot. But I tell you, children really are resilient. And, you know, that little saying, bloom where you're planted, they certainly are.
Go in my mouth.
The shade?
Yeah.
Is the shade going in your mouth?
Let's stop at the other tree.
Okay, next shade. Next shade it is, huh?
I love shade.
Me too. You love shade?
It gives us more power.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. More shade over here.
Gives us more energy, huh?
Yeah.
That's great.
You want to check out these flowers?
Sure,
Shall we take a picture of one?
sure.
We have some nice blue.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to take a picture of?
Well, those are roses.
We went out and Russell was so impressed with seeing dried worms on the sidewalk, maple tree seeds. We talked about those. We talked about different types of trees. Paint on the sidewalk impressed him. He was impressed with a strange shaped drain, with a pine cone, with knapweed blooms. He also thought that the sidewalk cracks were probably from earthquakes. He really helped entertain himself. It was pretty funny. Also, one day when we were out on one of our little bike trips, he loves to go and explore the neighborhood. So we were out walking and we had gone down a certain path, and there were like 3 employees from a business up on a slight rise from us, and they hollered down at us and they said, ma'am, and I'm like, what? And she said, there's a black bear we've reported to Fish and Game, and they're on their way to collect it, and it's out here running around. So I thought, yeah, they may be in town, but they are in Kalispell. So yeah, that's a big difference from a regular city. So let's talk about some other things I completed.
my first cross stitch. I have never done cross stitch before, and look at that. I was pretty excited. That is the Woodland Creatures Mystery Stitch Along. Patty of 4 boys and an NL girl has she created this stitch along, and she's also designed it. And if you didn't like the Christmas 2020, she included these that you could put on your cross stitch. So I chose one of those. So you can still join that stitch along if you're if you want. There are 3 more patterns to go, and actually 3 more patterns to go. 2 for the stitch along, and then the mystery stitch along, and then 1 she threw in for free. Now I had to watch a YouTube video to figure out how to do this. But you know, once I got going on it, it was okay. It's not perfect. I see some mistakes. I miscounted something one time, you know, across here, and I didn't fix it because it was just off, I think, 1 stitch. So I didn't worry about it. But I think it turned out pretty well. Yeah, there's some white spots in there you can see that probably shouldn't exist, but I'm okay with it. It was fun, and once I got going on it, I was really happy with it. Also, I want to thank Patty. She sent me a sweet little package from Canada. If you don't know, Patty and I met once in Colorado when she was down there visiting and I was down there visiting at the same time. She sent this little gnome she made. She says it's a little gnomette, I think she called it. A little gal gnome. Is that the cutest little thing? Yeah, Christmas in August, right? Why not? That's super cute. Thank you, Patty. She also sent this little hanging ornament, and it took me a while. I looked at that and I thought, wow, what am I missing? Is that some kind of a Chinese symbol or something? Or yeah, anybody recognize what that is that doesn't live there? It is the outline of Newfoundland, where Patty lives. Wow. Who would have thought, right? Yeah, that's crazy. Thank you, Patty. I really like both of those things. And yeah, I am down here in my knitting room again. I have kind of reclaimed it. It's not, I haven't completely taken it over because there's some work that needs to be done downstairs now that my daughter and her family have moved out. Yeah, I need to paint. We need to replace some carpet, but I've got a table going, and yeah, I'm working on it. It's nice to have a space again to myself. The other day, I'll insert a video here. I was looking up from my knitting. I have a big window right in front of me, and I was looking up from my knitting and saw a deer and her babies show up. They were really close to my window, and they were probably eating the dropped bird seed from up on top from our upper deck. So it was fun to see them so close up. That was really cute. So another thing I have finished is these socks. These are called On the Porch. They are by Tracy Miller, and I knit them for the Cat Lady Summer Sock Knit Along she is hosting on her podcast. If you haven't checked out the Cat Lady, you really should. Yeah, these were an easy knit, and you know, I haven't done shorty socks in a long time, and I decided I would try some. Now these don't, I kind of messed up the first one. That's the first one. I'll just show you. See where it doesn't, yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like. It was supposed to have those, and I misread the instructions. Same thing on there. But, you know, I'm going to survive. Anyway, really easy pattern. I really liked it. I just used, this is Knit Pick Stroll Fingering in black. And I used a mini for this that I got
from Beth in a Christmas mini swap that was organized by Linda of Joey Scarf podcast. And this mini is called Zwerger Garn Opal. And the colorway is King of Hip Hop. And I thought it worked really well. I didn't have to change color. I just carried it up on that and on here. In the original pattern, she has you use 3 different colors for this. And I just thought, I'll just use this little striping thing. And I think it worked out really well. Really liked it. I wanted to get this podcast wrapped up. It is August 12th. Janet and I are planning on another hike tomorrow. And I've already got three hikes in this podcast. It's plenty long enough. So I wanted to get this wrapped up. I did want to mention I have been ordering from Montana Home Sprout on Etsy. And here's one of her soaps. Isn't that pretty? This is called Lavender Fields. She finishes her soaps off really nicely. I suppose a lot of people do. But gosh, that smells great. And I bought a bunch of bath bombs from her too. Really nice stuff. I just really like her stuff. I also used her Skeeter stick the other day when Janet and I went on one of our hikes. I think I used it. Yeah, I think I used it on the last hike when we went to Firebrand Pass. And it worked really well. Yeah. There were some weird biting flies, and they weren't horse flies. They were about the third of the size of horse flies, but they were trying to get me. And I rubbed that stick on, and it worked really nicely. Okay, so I also want to mention a podcast I've been watching. You know, I mentioned the Woolen Women, and I like to push people that don't have a huge following. I don't know. It's just I just like to try to get people some viewers. So this gal, I have not met her. But it's Karen Barron. Her podcast is called Montana Real Life and Real Estate with Karen Barron. And she likes to share her knitting stuff. She hasn't been knitting very long, but she lives a ways away from me, about an hour and a half. And we haven't met yet, but I bet we will someday. And I just thought I'd give her podcast a little shout out in case you were interested. Also, I want to mention that everything I talk about in the podcast will be linked below. And you can find me on Ravelry as Victoria Jean, and on Instagram as Victoria Jean W. You can also email me at vjwilliams54@gmail.com. Also, I won another giveaway from Aquila on the Lefty Knitter podcast. She sent a gift card to a yarn shop, and I think I have picked out what I wanted, but I think one of them I may not be able to order until November because it's a monthly thing they're doing with a theme, and I don't think I can order it until then. I wanted the Christmas one, but anyway, thank you, Aquila. Also, the giveaway winner. I didn't have a lot of entries for this one. It was a pattern by Natalie, who is Detroit Knots. She's on Ravelry, but she is also on Etsy as Detroit Knots Company. So if you're interested in looking at her patterns, I think it'd be great. But Mel Hartley, you're the winner. So if you could contact me, Mel, with your contact info, I'll get a pattern to you. So pick out a pattern that you would like. Also, the August calendar pick for the Guernsey calendar from Jan's Crafty Crochet was Victoria Marina, St. Peter Port. And I looked up just a little bit about it. St. Peter Port is the undoubted jewel in Guernsey's crown. It is one of the finest natural anchorages in the Channel Islands. The Guernsey capital has evolved over the centuries into a bustling port that caters very successfully for thousands of visiting yachtsmen and also for the varied needs of commercial passengers and freight operations, a fishing fleet, and local boat owners. Situated at the very heart of the port and nestling right beside the waterfront pubs, shops, and restaurants, Guernsey marinas offer good shelter in all weathers. From the spires and towers on the skyline above the harbor to the castle that guards its entrance, the town provides a striking vista as you pass through the pier heads and follow the buoyed channel towards the visitors' pontoons in the Victoria Marina. Yeah, who wouldn't like to go there? I certainly would. So yeah, I let Russell keep that waffle puppy. You know, he seemed to really like it, so I was totally fine with that. I have some new projects I'm gonna get working on, but the bigger thing is, the boys have moved out with my daughter, and you know, we're all gonna take a while to adjust to that. It's a little odd, but you know, it had to happen at some point. But they're not far away, yeah, so it's gonna be okay. Yeah, I'm gonna miss them, but I'll be seeing them plenty often. So I'll get my grandson fix. So anyway, there's an off the porch segment. Just mostly deer this time. Those fawns are so fun to watch. I just really enjoy seeing them. So as usual, I hope everybody's taking care of themselves. Black lives still matter. I'm still working on that in the background, doing some reading, talking about it. Yeah, it's still there. In the meantime, everybody take it easy, and thank you so much for watching, and goodbye from Northwest Montana. I hope I see you next time.
Russell helped me clear out a garden space in front of our house. He helped me pick out the flowers. He helped plant them. This can happen now that the ducks and chickens are corralled up and they're not out digging everything up. And Kim made these beautiful fences, not to keep the deer out, but to keep Larky out. I've really been enjoying it. And more than just birds are enjoying our bird bath.
No.